I have been a huge fan of Halo for many years. I actually started out late. I did not catch on to Halo when it first launched on the original Xbox. I was in the military at the time. I remember coming into work and in one of the offices in the shop right before work there was a TV in there. There were people playing Halo. I mean, they were going in, having a lot of fun. I didn't really understand the game at the time. I wasn't really I didn't really catch on with the first person shooter wave right away. It wasn't until the Xbox 360 that I really got hooked on Halo. Then I read some of the books. Now, I didn't read all of the books. There were some that didn't interest me. So I'll run you down the books that I've read. There's a site that has all the books listed in order. Like I said, a lot of these I didn't read. I read Halo Fall of Reach, amazing book. I believe Gil Nyland or Eric Nyland, yes, was the author of this book. I don't know why I said Gil. Contact Harvest, another great book, and this is where you first meet Avery Johnson. The Cole Protocol, magnificent book, another magnificent book. Let's see what other ones I read. The Flood, of course, the Flood. So the first three books was Fall of Reach. Let's see, it was Fall of Reach, The Flood, and I'm gonna have to go down because I can't remember what that third book is. It was the first few, oh yeah, First Strike. So it's First Strike. It was Fall of Reach first, then The Flood, then First Strike, if I'm not mistaken. All great books. The Ghost of Onyx was another one that was just magnificent. These books are so good, really good. And reading these books is kind of what really just catapulted my love for this franchise. I played Halo 1, 2, and 3. I have a Master Chief helmet sitting up there on my bookshelf from when I bought Halo 3. And this has been a game and a franchise in general that I have loved. I have said, and I could be wrong about this is just my opinion. Halo probably has one of the most expansive universes next to Star Wars. If you really get into the Halo universe, the Forerunners and all of that, a lot of the Forerunner books I really didn't get into. They just didn't really pique my interest. And there's a couple of books I didn't finish, like the Thursday War. I have that book, haven't finished it. I didn't read Glasslands. A lot of other books I didn't read, but the books themselves and the lore is magnificent. If you've not read them, I would check them out. You would like it. Now, why am I mentioning all of this? The Halo TV show. I believe it was on Paramount Plus. I believe that's what it was on. Um, ooh, I can't even really say I got mixed feelings about this show. My feelings are not really mixed. I didn't personally think the show was all that well, or was done all that well. The fighting scenes when you saw Master Chief going up against the Covenant, or him and some of the other Spartans going up against the Covenant, it was great. I mean, it was really great seeing that on screen. The departures they had from the Halo story, both the games and the books, I was not a fan of. I just did not like that at all. So I want to go to this article. Is an article from fandompulse.com written by Jack Dunn. And the title of the article, you see it, Master Chief actor Pablo Schreiber from Halo Season 2 doubles down and insults fans. So if you don't know anything about the Halo in the game, you never see Master Chief's face. Even at the moments where he takes off his helmet, the camera always pans. So there's this mystery and this allure about Master Chief. And I mean, in some way, that's another character, right? The fact that you don't see his face almost portrays another character in the series. And I love it. I love that mystery. That mystery was removed in the series because he is constantly taking off his helmet. And I get it. Things are done differently for shows, but I don't think this is one of those areas where there was really a need to compromise. So let's read the article. Fandom Pulse has previously reported on the utter lack of creativity by producers of Halo. And I don't know if I would agree with that. I wouldn't say a complete lack of creativity. I think the bigger problem is that they abandon the original storyline. I think that's the bigger issue. The series when they release images from the upcoming season 2 of Halo, the series with Pablo Schreiber in a Game of Thrones Conan the Barbarian pose, and their instance on portraying Master Chief with his helmet off. Now Pablo Schreiber has doubled down on the face reveal. People who don't feel the helmet was necessary to come off, they're at such an early conception of what the show could be, Shriver said in an interview with Games Radar. Now, I get it, but I think this is what happens when you get people who take roles who may not be. I'm not going to say he doesn't know anything about Halo. I don't know that, but I'm not sure he is the biggest as far as knowledge on Halo. Let's put it that way. I'm not sure how well he followed Halo before getting this role. Fans took to X, Twitter or X, to voice their concerns, with some even putting their skills on display to correctly portray Master Chief. Twitter or X user, I think that's Pangorilla, posted, "There, I fixed it. Lowest effort edit possible, and it's 117 times better." If you don't know, Master Chief is John 117, and as you can see if you're watching a video, that's what he has on his armor. And really, so you see the picture this guy posted where he fixed it. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Master Chief constantly removing his helmet. I understand that for a TV show, yeah, things will be done a little different, not necessarily how they're done in a game, but really there was no need to depart from what the game offered. It was fine the way it is. Pablo Schreiber, portraying Master Chief, has said previously about the face reveal, it was very important early on that the helmet comes off. You see the face and disassociate your version of who you believe the Chief was. Now, here's my problem with that statement. That means what it sounds like to me. Maybe I'm taking this wrong. It sounds like what you're saying is we know what you have grown accustomed to from the books and the games and all the lore, but we're doing something different and you just have to accept it. I don't think I'm not sure that that's the direction you want to go with the fans. He goes on to say, rather than being co-creator of the experience as you go along and believing that you're Chief, we're now inviting you to sit back on the couch and watch Chief start to discover elements of himself. And so one of the biggest allures when you play Halo, and even when you read the books, is Master Chief always seems so disconnected yet mission driven. Like that is his whole thing. And I don't think this leads me to believe that Pablo Schreiber maybe doesn't really understand and maybe didn't play the game. I'm not going to assume what he knows or doesn't know. So I don't want to lob that at him, but it definitely appears that way, my humble opinion. In a typical display of Hollywood arrogance, the producers of Halo, the series, and Pablo Schreiber, however, prefer to insult Halo fans. In a backhanded insult to Halo fans, Pablo Schreiber added, in order to examine the discrepancy between these two versions of the character, Chief and John 117, you can't tell that story without taking the helmet off. If you don't agree with the helmet coming off in a show, you don't like our show. So there's no point discussing it. Now, this is, I don't understand what he's getting at here. Like, do you realize this show was made for fans of Halo. I'll be honest, I have seen fan made Halo short clips on YouTube over the years that in many ways was better than this big budget show. And I'm not being cliche when I say that. I think it's a bit of arrogance on Pablo Schreiber's part to say, yeah, I know you have watched this character mature over the years. You've played the game, you've read the books, you know the lore, but bump what you know, we're doing something else. Well, just make another series. Just make a new sci-fi IP. Don't change up what the fans already love. Sometimes I think this is a bit of a problem in Hollywood. Again, I try not to make my channel about constantly complaining about things. I try to go over things that I enjoy. Halo is something I enjoy, and I think it is in many ways being co-opted by certain Hollywood entities to change it into something it's not. Again, just create something else. The article goes on to say, this arrogant disregard of fans by doubling down merely serves to highlight the lack of creativity by Hollywood screenwriters. The developers of Halo games franchise created a highly successful Halo franchise with 6 mainline games, which in addition to excellent gameplay, created an immersive storyline without the iconic Super Soldier Master Chief having had to remove the helmet. And this is all true. This game is magnificent. The books are magnificent. And it just focused on Master Chief, the super soldier that always seemed to get it done and was a thorn in the side of the Covenant. This is what made this thing great. I mean, I'm going to keep it real with you. Who John is versus who Master Chief is, that's not really a thing, in my humble opinion, that I cared about. I can't speak for anybody else. I didn't care about that reading the books or playing the games. I just thought, yo, Master Chief is dope just getting it done. And it was amazing and fun, both playing the game, watching the cutscenes, and reading in the books about Master Chief just getting it done. The producers of Halo, the series, and Pablo Schreiber completely missed the point that what made Master Chief of the Halo video game series iconic and made his persona so enigmatic was the fact that he always wore this helmet. I agree 100%. That's the most iconic thing about this. It says it symbolizes Master Chief's resilience, strength, and mystery. Losing the helmet makes Pablo Schreiber's Master Chief lose his mystery and his uniqueness as a character, and simply cast him as another dull and interchangeable super soldier from any number of science fiction books or movies. Yo, I gotta agree. Now, call me a glutton for punishment. More than likely, I'm gonna watch this upcoming season 2 just because I love Halo. But it didn't do well. The last season, as far as I know, did not do well. And I think there's a bunch of people that probably won't watch it. I don't like the fact that this is done to many of these franchises that we love. Stick to the storyline. I'm for the life of me, I can't understand why this is such a problem. Stick to the storyline. Stick to the lore that's out there. Don't stray from that. There's no reason to stray. It's already good. It has already generated so much love from the fans that it really wasn't a need to change this. I don't understand. I say I don't understand. I get it. There's things that, different Hollywood entities want to convey. But yo, if something was already conveyed via the games and the books that fans love, why would you change that? What would be the need to change that? Just stick to the script and give the fans what they want. The script as it is, uncorrupted, unfiltered.